Hey everyone, you're with Tom from Ludicrous Feed, and thank you so much for joining us. Today I'm reviewing the Polestar 2 long-range dual motor with performance pack here in Sydney, Australia. And I just want to thank Polestar Australia for loaning us this vehicle for the week to review. For full disclosure, I am a Tesla owner. We've got a Tesla Model 3 and a Tesla Model S, so I'll naturally be drawing some comparisons through the eyes of a Tesla owner. Okay, so I'm excited to be able to launch my brand new scoring system to help me review electric vehicles moving forward. And today will be the very first time I'll be using the TER score, or Tom's Electric Vehicle Ranking Score. And I must admit, this has been very much adapted from the Doug DeMuro Doug score. So we've got 10 categories, and each category is out of 10 with a final score out of 100. So these are the categories: styling, acceleration, handling, features, comfort, quality, everyday, the feels, value, and the little things. And of course, most of these categories are subjective, with the acceleration category being the only objective category. Okay, so the first category is styling, and of course I must emphasize this is a very subjective category and based purely on my opinion alone. Okay, so the Polestar 2 is actually slightly shorter in length than the Tesla Model 3, but wider than Model 3 despite having a narrower wheelbase. It's taller by about 4 centimeters and 150 grams heavier unladen. And this performance variant actually has a similar ground clearance at 146 millimeters. Okay, so during the course of this week, we've had this car. It's certainly turned a lot of heads. People have come up to me and asked, what is this car? I've never seen this car before. It looks very interesting. So it certainly is a head turner, and it's an eye opener. And Polestar 2 have done a great job in the styling of the vehicle, and a lot of thought has certainly been given to the design of this vehicle. I actually quite like this vehicle overall. The lighting particularly is fantastic, looks great at nighttime, and particularly with the performance pack, I love that there are some gold trims to the car, particularly with the brake calipers, the tyre valves, the seat belt. It just gives extra spice to the vehicle, and congratulations to Polestar for designing such a nice car. The only two things I'll say about the car that I don't quite like is the rear of the vehicle. I feel like it's a little bit boxy, particularly just where the tailgate comes out. It's just a little bit too square for my personal liking. And also, I'm just not a fan of grills on an electric vehicle, even if they are for cosmetic appearance only, given that we don't need that much airflow anymore through the front of the car, given there's no engine. But we'll see what happens with future designs for Polestar for now. But like I said, overall, quite a nice design, and certainly gives the car a more luxurious premium feel overall. And for that reason, I'm giving a score of 7.5 out of 10 for styling. Okay, so the next category is acceleration, and this is the only objective category, and it's actually the same breakdown as Doug DeMuro's Doug score. The Polestar 2 long-range dual motor with performance pack 0 to 100 kilometers an hour time is actually 4.7 seconds, and it is slower than the Tesla Model 3's performance 3.3 seconds. I did receive a software update this week, and I think it did actually improve acceleration times, because I managed to get launch mode down to 4.5 seconds for 0 to 100 kilometers an hour. You can see your launch times on the screen there in front of you, which is quite nice. And so at 4.7 seconds, 6 out of 10 for acceleration. Right, so the next category is handling, and again I want to emphasize that this is a very subjective scoring for handling. Based on my handling video test we did earlier in Akuna Bay, it did pretty well, I must say, except for a couple of small moments, but overall great handling of the car. Because it's an EV, the regenerative braking does help around corners very much. There is one left turn that we make almost every day where we live onto a main road, and I must say, it does lose control slightly when you try and get out of that turn very quickly. And so for that reason, I'm giving this a score of 7 out of 10 overall for handling. All right, so the next category is features. And I'll tell you what, this car is absolutely feature packed. So let's go through it all right now. The frameless wing mirror is fantastic. As you can see, the mirror goes all the way to the edge of the frame, and this car can tow up to 1,500 kilograms as well. Power operated seats, both front and passenger side as well. Immediate start of the car, no on-off button, which is a pet peeve of mine for EVs. Only 4 gears as well. There's a good button to screen ratio, although this play button here might take some getting used to the way it presses. One gripe is that the bottom of the screen is blocked by this bar here, so when you're driving it does get in the way when you try and activate the climate control there. The infotainment screen is very easy to use, nice big icons, very responsive. Google Maps is excellent, navigation is very easy to use as well. What I like too is that you don't need to confirm your navigation too often. Say for example, if you want to go to town, so let's press Sydney there. That's basically it. Press start and it gives you your start, arrival and return battery, and it's very easy to use. You don't have to confirm too many times like in other vehicles. And this is the charge screen here, very easy to set your charge limit and also schedule charge times for on and off, which is fantastic. By the way, charging is 11 kilowatts AC and up to 150 kilowatts DC, and of course take note that you cannot use the Tesla supercharging network. It does, however, accept use of the Tesla Gen 3 wall connector, which is fantastic because it's one of the cheapest chargers on the market. And yes, this car does allow over-the-air software updates, which is a massive bonus for EVs. I was lucky enough to experience a software update during this week. The instruction manual of this car is really good, by the way. I quite like it because you can see here, it's got a nice graphic here to show you what each part of the car does. So you can read more about each point, which I really quite like. It's very user-friendly, and same for the interior of the car as well. If you're not sure about something, you can just press that and it'll tell you exactly what the functions are. So well done, Polestar. That's really good. The one-pedal drive system is fantastic. I normally keep it on standard and it slows down appropriately when it comes to a stop. And it's customizable if you don't like that feeling. You can have it on low. You can also have it on creep, which basically allows the car to roll when the brake is off to make it feel more like an ICE car. It's got a great audio system. If you have the Plus pack, you get Harman Kardon speakers, and there is Spotify built in as well, right there. Climate control is also very easy to use. It is screen-based. You can adjust the temperature like that. And the car also comes with heated seats for driver and passenger side, and also heated steering wheel as well. And the Plus pack, which this car has, comes with a heat pump, which makes the car more efficient when the HVAC or AC is running. And if you buy the Plus and Pilot pack, this car comes with a lot of features. You get the blind spot monitor on the wing mirrors, which is very useful. Possibly a bit overzealous with the speed warnings. Park assist works really well. So this is the 360 camera right there. And you can, press the different cameras for the rear and the side and the front cameras. Really handy when you're trying to park the car. And there's a whole host of driver assist functions like lane keeping, auto steer, which is okay on the highway. It does ping pong a little bit, I must say. Cruise control is very easy to use and to activate and to increase the speed, and also customizable when it comes to keeping the distance from the car in front of you. There's also a driver alert function for lead car monitoring when you're at a traffic light. All right, so here's the steering wheel. It's got good voice activation function, very easy to use, and the steering wheel adjustment is manual control. The center drive cluster is excellent, and good critical metrics there, which also can be customized, such as the speedometer, range, battery state of charge, odometer, and efficiency. And you can switch it from this mode to map view, which is very handy when you're navigating to a new location. Very nice, clear, and high resolution. The only thing I'll say about this car is that there is no head-up display, which would have been a nice touch. Okay, so as you can see, jam-packed with features for the Polestar 2, and for that reason, I'm very happy to give it a score of 9 out of 10 for the features category. All right, so this next category is comfort, and I'll be asking my family to rate this category moving forward, and they've given a score of 7 out of 10 for this category. And the main drawback is the hump in the second row, which is unfortunate because this does share the same platform as the Volvo XC40, which is a nice car, of course, but hopefully with future Polestars, that second row hump will be gone because you don't need a drive tunnel being an EV. And sitting back here, plenty of headroom. I'm 5'9", plenty of space between the top of my head and also the glass panoramic roof. Plenty of knee room as well between my knees and the front of the car. And yeah, it's not as high a driving position as, say, the Kia EV6, but certainly a little bit higher than the Tesla Model 3. So your rear passengers will love being back here. Very comfortable for 2 adults. The middle seat might again be compromised thanks to the hump in the second row. Child seat restraints are standard, and there are also heated seats back here as well. Okay, so the next category is quality, and again, I must emphasize this is a very subjective score. The car looks great, I must say. Great finish, great attention to detail overall. Some parts do feel a little bit light and flimsy, but again, overall, very happy with the quality of the car. And of course, Polestar must be applauded on its efforts on sustainability. And part of this category of quality is also the perception of quality. And because the Polestar brand is owned by Volvo, and Volvo's got a great reputation, of course, when it comes to safety and quality, I think this car will be a safe bet when it comes to reliability and servicing moving forward. And for all those reasons, I'm giving a score of 8 out of 10 for quality for the Polestar 2. Alright, so this next category is called everyday. And what I mean by everyday is how practical is this car? How much storage is there? And how practical is that storage? And also what modern conveniences are available to the driver and passengers? So let's start with the boot. So it's a fastback design. It's got a lift gate. It's got buttons to close the boot, as well as to lock the car when you close the boot as well, which is quite nice. I quite like that. There's a parcel shelf, which we've actually used for parcels, interestingly enough, this week. Lots of storage in there, like I said. There's also a subfloor as well down here, which is pretty good. Extra bit of storage down there. There's this, what they call lid in a lid, which I guess if you want to stop stuff rolling around behind it, it's quite nice to have. It's got a ski hatch hole down here. Very European, isn't it? And you can slide your skis through there, which makes it very practical indeed. 40-60 split in the car. There's a 12-volt plug here in the back, which I love. Very practical if you want to go camping or just want to use it to power things. More practical things like this strap here to keep things from rolling around. Bit of netting here, again, to stop stuff rolling around. And that is the boot, so very handy indeed. And just watch this as I shut. Very nice soft close, as you'll see. Parcel shelf comes down with it. And what else I like about the Polestar 2 is that there is a usable front space. So to open it is to lift this button here. Okay. Let's go over here. Minor point, it's got this extra bit of latch here to lift up, which I personally don't like to open the bonnet. I just prefer the front to open up, but that's okay. There's the front space. You can store your cables and whatnot in there. It comes with a repair kit as well, which is good. And everything else is enclosed, which is nice. I love that. And there is a spot here for adding washer fluid, of course, which is great. Now to close the front, you just let it drop like that, and then push down with 2 hands on the bonnet. Be nice to see EVs with powered fronts moving forward. I think that should be a function, given you can store stuff in the front of the car from now on. Just a note for Polestar, I'd love to see a powered front in your future vehicles. Okay, so back inside the car, a smallish center console down here, which is okay, I guess. There is a hidden cup holder, which is removable if you need that extra space. Down here, there is a wireless charging pad, which is actually tilted downwards. So I find that quite interesting. So I guess you don't get tempted to look at your phone when you're driving. Nice design there. There's drink holders everywhere, which is great. There's a magazine rack in the second row behind the seats, which is good. USB-C charging ports everywhere as well for passengers. And as I said, seat heaters all throughout the car. Feature packed once again for everyday things. And for that reason, I'm giving it a score of 8 out of 10. All right, so this next category I've called the feels. And it's exactly that. How does this car make me feel? Does this car spark joy? Do I feel special driving this car? Is this a fun drive? All those kind of important questions when you're making a decision on buying a new car. And I must say, having the performance pack with the gold brake calipers, gold tired valve, gold seatbelt sash, all these kind of things help. And it is a fun car to drive. And I've enjoyed driving it over the last week. For that reason, I'm giving it a score of 8 out of 10 for the feels category. Okay, now onto the serious stuff. So this is the value category. And important question is this car good value for your money? So if I were to buy a Polestar 2, I would definitely add the Pilot and Plus pack. And that's already, the 2 packs is $9,400 extra to the vehicle. And unfortunately, these features are kind of already standard in other EVs. The heat pump is only included with the Plus pack, and I personally feel that it should be included standard in EVs already moving forward. Adaptive cruise control is not standard in this car unless you buy the Pilot pack. That's actually standard in a lot of other base cars as well. The range, acceleration, and power and DC charging speed doesn't quite match the Tesla Model 3 performance as well. And don't forget, a Polestar 2, along with all other non-Tesla vehicles, cannot use the Tesla supercharging network. So I guess for those reasons, I had to score this 7 out of 10 for otherwise a very good feature-packed vehicle. Okay, so this final category I've called the little things. It's basically a category for splitting hairs and just little small things that I find about each vehicle that I review that could be done better. The rain sensor unfortunately doesn't work very well in this car, not that I've been able to figure out anyway. There is an auto sensor menu option, but when it rains I've had to manually switch it on and off myself. These keys I still haven't quite worked out. They are quite bulky for the Polestar 2, so again, I've mentioned this a few times, the second row hump is quite off-putting for an EV, and hopefully future Polestars will remove that. There's no vehicle to load function or adapter, which would be nice for EVs to have moving forward. And also the grille of the car I personally don't like. So for that reason, I'm giving this a score of 7 out of 10 for the little things of the Polestar 2. Okay, so in summary, the Polestar 2 long-range dual motor with all the packs included, lots of great points, feature-packed, especially if you buy all the packs, of course. Over-the-air software updates, which I love. Scheduled charging is fantastic, very easy to use with on and off times. And the rest of the infotainment system is also very easy to use. Great job there, Polestar. It's a very practical car, but also feels really premium. And of course, Volvo's reputation gives it a sense of reliability, which is great for servicing moving forward. Again, not sure about the value of the car, given other EVs outperform in some metrics for the same price. And again, like all non-Tesla EVs, can't use the supercharger network for now, but hopefully Tesla will open that for everyone moving forward. I would personally consider the Polestar 2 in the premium EV category due to all the features I've already listed. So in summary, I'm giving the 2022 Polestar 2 long-range dual motor performance pack a 74.5 out of 100, a very commendable score, and certainly a very viable Tesla alternative EV in its own right. I just want to thank Polestar 2 once again for loaning this to me for the week to review. And of course, go and check out a Polestar 2 for yourself for a test drive at your nearest experience center. And finally, what are your thoughts on my new scoring system, the TER Tom's EV ranking? If you've got any suggestions for improvements, leave those in the comments section below. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and of course subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already yet. Until next time, happy charging.